what happens is it is not just theory.
Yeah.
It is a theory and application blended into one.
Yeah. Having then the practical approach that would help them not just in UK but in any other country as well.
Spot on. You are absolutely right. And that is the idea.
Yeah.
Because our university, and as such, any UK university would like to develop as an outcome of learning is what we call a graduate capital. It's not just knowledge. It's a capital of knowledge, experience, confidence, and ability.
So it's like you're learning while you are working?
Yes, it's more like that.
So, in short, the first thing is to make sure that you're learning everything and putting it into practice.
Regularly. Right from the day one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the second thing is to maintain that kind of bond with your professor and with tutors who are helping you to guide you into the right direction.
Absolutely. And ask questions.
Ask questions.
There is no problem in asking questions.
Welcome to another episode of MetaApply's ABC Podcast, Abroad and Beyond Campus. Today, I have a very special guest with us, Mr. Nandan Sengupta. So he has over 35 years of experience in the industry, over 7 years of experience in academia, and he has been working with ARU University, Anglia Ruskin University for the last 4 years. Thank you so much, Mr. Sengupta, for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So I actually wanted to ask you, since you have been teaching and you are a professor in one of the UK universities, which is very prominent. So I wanted to understand exactly what is the difference that you would say is there between a university in UK and their teaching style and the teaching style that there is in India.
Generally, in India, we are slightly more focused on the theoretical side of it, which is absolutely fine, which is needed. However, in my opinion, I have found that the practical application side is not so much focused upon, which makes the difference. Because in UK, in my class or in any class that one of our colleagues take, what happens is it is not just theory.
Yeah.
It is a theory and application blended into one.
Yeah.
And for that, as an industry practitioner, I of course have an advantage because I can bring in lots of examples from my own experience, and those who are purely academician, they actually collect those experiences from others and bring it to the students.
Yeah.
So a student in UK is expected to know the theories, yes, but more expected to be able to apply that theory into a situation. Mm-hmm. For example, if it is mathematics, knowing how to do differential calculus or integral calculus is one thing, but knowing how to apply that into a practical situation, let's say the rate of flow of water or volume of water, is altogether another thing, a different thing.
Yeah.
So there lies the difference. We focus on both and we focus more on the application.
So does that really help them, of course, when they go out for getting the employment opportunities? Because having then the practical approach, that would help them not just in UK, but in any other country as well.
Spot on. You are absolutely right. And that is the idea.
Yeah.
Because our university, and as such, any UK university would like to develop as an outcome of learning is what we call a graduate capital. It's not just knowledge. It's a capital of knowledge, experience, confidence, and ability.
Yeah.
And so when they face the interviews and go to the employment area, at that time, their interactions should show, at least in UK or in Europe or internationally, should show that they are not only able to write out the theories, but also able to apply them in certain situations. And that is what happens. That's our objective and that's what happens.
So, as an Indian student myself, I know that our entire structure to actually approach education is extremely theoretical.
Mm-hmm.
So can you give us some kind of example that students of your class, if they have a theoretical background, how do they approach that practicality? They must do assignments, they must do internships. So how do they cope when they actually get assimilated into the UK education system?
Yes, of course. For example, let's take a particular model. Let's take price elasticity, not model, just a theory, price elasticity. Almost all the students in India are those who have studied economics as part of management or as part of economics itself, know what that thing is.
Yeah.
But in UK, when they go over there, probably they will be exposed to certain cases and situations where they're expected to apply that. For example, in a class, I might tell them about price elasticity, and then in the next class, I might tell them that, look, there is a data. These are the companies. These are the prices that they have gone through changing between this year and that year.
Yeah.
And from that, can you find out what was their real reason for changing the price, or what sort of price elasticity worked over here, and how did the price elasticity impact their decision to change the price? You see the difference? And there is no right or wrong answer there. It's a question of how they approach, it's a question of how they analyze and present their logics.
So it's like you're learning while you are working?
Yes, it's more like that. Exactly that. Because we have every week on any module, we have two sessions. One is lecture, which is little more theoretical with the application orientation, and the other one is seminar, where generally we take up some tasks and discuss on that, or ask student to do something like this, the one that I told you about.
So as we were earlier discussing that you were saying that whenever you go for and you apply for a job, first of all, they have to network, they have to be on their toes and build the right relationships with people.
Yes.
So another thing that you mentioned which really struck out was that they have to make sure that they are different from their peers and for those who are applying for the same job. So can you give us one advice that you would give to your students or people who want to study in UK? How can they stand out from their peers and from the students who might, going for the same job, may not just in UK, but in any other of the countries as well?
Of course. First of all, I'd like to say something about a student doesn't have to be on their toe. They can be relaxed.
Yeah.
But they have to be careful, regular, planned, and following their study. So the advice that you asked would be very simple. Right from the day one, follow the study material. What the professor, lecturer, tutor, whoever it is, whatever this person is saying is something which needs to be followed. Now, look, in India or in many other countries where theoretical focus is a little more, we are accustomed to the style of memorizing things and putting that on the paper, which could be done during, say, last 10 days before the exams.
Yeah.
But if you try to apply that in UK, it will be very difficult because the exam question is not a question which is going to ask you something about memorization or memorizing something.
Yeah.
It's about a situation, and it will ask about your opinion. It will ask about your analysis. So if you follow that thing regularly, it is not a stressful thing to do. Just regularly follow that thing. Then you will be in the right position to address that assignment and do better. Number one. Number two, if you really want to stand out, then obviously you have to do a little more study and research and take the initiative to look into the subject and see what else is there to know about that. If you feel lost in doing so, you always have the option to go to the tutor and ask for that. And in addition, every student has a personal development tutor in our university, and therefore that is another option. Go there. The personal development tutor, PDT as we call them, may not know everything, but that person can point you to the right direction. There is a huge library. There are lots of student bodies who can help you with that if you really want to do well. and also try to find out what exactly suits you. We generally have a tendency to go to a certain degree. For example, MBA.
Yeah.
Now, other than MBA, there could be many other similar programs which are actually being looked into by the employers.
Yeah.
Try to find that out. Don't just, get fixated on certain ideas to I have to do this.
Exactly.
And there are so many new things coming up: sustainability, AI, deep learning, strategic divisions, design thinking.
Yeah.
If you really keep a track of all those things, it's not difficult. You just keep track of all this and see how you can amalgamate those things into your learning and into build your confidence. That's all they need to do.
So, in short, the first thing is to make sure that you're learning everything and
Yes.
putting it into practice.
Regularly.
Regularly.
Right from the day one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the second thing is to maintain that kind of bond with your professor
Yes.
and your tutors who are helping you to guide you into the right direction.
Absolutely. And ask questions.
Ask questions.
There is no problem in asking question. And you see, some people do feel shy, I know.
Yeah.
But you can always approach your professor one-to-one. You can always mail them. So that is something you should do.
Yeah.
If you really have a question. And don't ever think that this must be a silly question, everybody knows the answer. No, it isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't. So therefore, I would really encourage our students from India that please take a deep dive into it. Just don't do it superficially. Follow the lessons regularly. Get in touch with the professor. Be serious about your question and ask them. Get the answers. If you're not satisfied, challenge the professor. There's no harm in doing that. Nobody will be angry for you being challenging. They will be happy that you are trying to learn.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's it.
Okay, so my last question would be is, you've been teaching for so long and you have met students from all different countries as we were discussing. So can you tell us something common that they face as a challenge, and how can they overcome that challenge then?
That's a very good question, actually. I cannot think of just one element which is very, very common,
Yeah.
but maybe the most common thing which I have seen in them is lack of confidence. That is the challenge, and being unable to handle that. But believe me, many of these students actually are very good students. The only thing they lack is the knowledge that they know and that they have the knowledge and they can do it. So they need a little bit of support and encouragement, that's all. And that is why I'm telling you to tell the students to ask the questions. The moment they come forward and get in touch with the professor can help them.
Yeah. So might be that because traveling to another country, it can be an overwhelming experience, and they might also have some kind of anxiety whether I am asking the, like you very
Yes.
correctly pointed out, am I asking the right questions? Am I even, there's a cultural shock as well.
Yes.
Because the students are completely different. The culture, the language sometimes can
Yes.
also be a problem. So, what do you suggest? How can they boost their confidence?
I know it is difficult. The same route I took 20 years back was like going from India to UK, and I faced those challenges. What I did was that I kept on communicating with people. I know there are lots of accents and pronunciations. Initially, they will feel that they don't understand anything, but they have to keep in mind that when they have come to a new country, they have prepared themselves for taking such challenges.
Yeah.
And the main thing to do is to keep on doing that, keep on communicating, keep on going out, keep on getting out and being in touch with other people. And yes, during first few days and weeks, it will be very difficult, lots of challenges will come. And if anything such as this overwhelming comes through, my advice would be straight away go to the student union or your PDT.
Yeah.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
I can assure you they will help. Or even ask for help from the admin staff, there is this email, FBL admin in our case, which they can really access anytime. The only problem is that when the student gets deeper into the problem is when they don't be in touch with us at the initial level.
Yeah.
So my advice would be to keep in mind, speak up, be in touch, and know that we are there to help you.
Thank you so much for talking to us today. I know you're extremely busy, but thank you for taking the time out.
Thank you very much for having me. It has been a very pleasant experience, and I shall look forward to doing that more in the future. Thank you.
Sure, thanks. As you have seen, the journey to studying abroad can be overwhelming, but it doesn't necessarily have to be so. If you just be vocal about your fears, about your nervousness, then everything can be sorted out. So like we always keep telling you, network with people, find the right connections, and never hesitate to ask the right questions. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon, and we are going to bring you the latest updates about study abroad industry in the next episode.